voice and everything doesn't matter because we're going to delete all of that. Okay, so make sure that you can see that, the top logo at the top there. Okay, so I'm going to have long enough time to put words in there that say this is a growler preservation kit. This one happens to be by the Growler guys. And growler preservation kits are used to preserve the beer that are inside of growlers, like this one and like this plastic version of the growler. But first I want to tell you there's two things. Number one, in order to preserve the beer inside of a growler, you must remove the air from the headspace. Here's a little bit of beer in the bottom of a bottle, and up above it, where there's no liquid, that's called the headspace. So headspace is basically just whatever is above the upper level of the liquid. All right, so you must purge the air out of that. If you want to preserve this beer in this bottle, you got to get rid of that air. There's air, it's in all of these bottles. I'm about to show you that now. In order to sustain a flame, you have to have air. If we didn't have air, this flame wouldn't be burning. We'll be out in a minute.
Get it.
Okay, so there you go. You can see there's air in that bottle. All right, there's air in this bottle. There's air in this growler bottle. And there is air in this growler bottle. Okay. Now, if you put CO2 inside these bottles, it displaces the air. Now, you can do it with the growler preservation kit and one of these CO2 bulbs inside, and then press the button and you can put CO2 inside of all these bottles. So I'm not going to use that and waste a CO2 bulb. I'm just going to use this one. This is a CO2 paintball tank. This is a pressure regulator on top, and it doesn't take much, just a little bit. A couple of squirts there. This is a 24-ounce Pepsi bottle. A couple of squirts there. Here's a growler, and it's completely empty, so we're going to put a couple squirts there. This is another half-gallon growler, and we'll put a few squirts there. Now, you'll see that that these bottles are now empty of air. That CO2 has replaced them. You see that went out, and that CO2 will stay in there. Okay, and CO2 has driven out all the air from the headspace, and now you can't have a flame because the air is gone. If you don't have air, you can't have fire. Okay, so you see there that all of these bottles are now full of CO2. All right, so if we pretend for just one moment that this beer, I'll open it. All right. That this beer was a growler and was partially consumed. If you want to save this beer, there are a couple of ways you can do it. You can give the beer a little shake, which will cause the CO2 to be released from the beer, and that CO2 comes up. You can see the bubbles, and it's filling up the headspace now. Fact is, I would think that it's probably already full of CO2 because of that was released from the beer when I gave it a shake. Let's see. Yep, looks like it is. So it's now full of CO2. But here's one way to fill it with CO2. If you don't like the idea of giving your beer a shake, and some people don't, then you can just put a little bit, in the headspace. So that one is now, just like the other, full of CO2, just like all of these other bottles. And any of the CO2 that was released from the beer can be replaced just by putting some back. And you see how it crushes the bubbles down. And now the beer bottle is firm again, and the beer is pressurized. Got